tutti si vetri, caira batu suere matre spura, tacere di kutu. Perché tutte le spagliano gente, su cui amatosci, te pacutro spirato. Ancora, cucina ma sulla ieri sera, te pacutro spagnato, te tutto.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Light Language Conversation. And at the table today, we have myself, Vox Angeles, and Andana Sananda Kamara, and we are happy to welcome Sushma Saraf to the table today. We are so happy that you are able to join us.
Thank you, Vox, and thank you, Antona. Thank you for the invite, and it's a pleasure to be here and sharing my work with all of you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Welcome, Sushma. I had an opportunity to listen to some of your meditations out on YouTube, and they were phenomenal. I could really feel that energy pulsating. So I'm so excited for our audience to get a chance to hear your story, hear a little bit about your journey and experience your light language. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, we are so happy to have you. And I guess to start off, we would love to know, how did this journey begin for you? How did you begin speaking light language?
If I say from the early childhood, I belong to a very religious family. My family, like my parents, so they were very religious, like worshipping and performing all the Hindu rituals because I'm born in a Hindu family. But once I get married, and my spiritual journey with meditation and with the energy began actually at when I conceived my second child. And in that period, during that pregnancy period, I had a fear that I will going to deliver a disabled child. And that fear really haunted me. And then I connect with the first guru of my life is Babita Kejriwal, and she has a specialization that she can talk to the children who are in the womb. So I just connected with her and I just asked her, please connect with my child and tell me whether the child is fine or not. So she told me that her child is fine, and she introduced me to the meditation. And then I started practicing meditation. And from 2008, it's just like after delivering my baby, after 3 months, I just started pursuing this vast ocean of spirituality by beginning with my life journey with the pranic healing. And slowly and gradually, as I got intoxicated with these courses, I learned everything which comes in my way, whether it's past life, whether it's inner child, whether it's ancestral healing, whether it's silver mind control, whether it's who am I, and the list is endless, Vox. It's just like I really enjoyed. And from 2011, I just started visiting Bangalore, the Pyramid Spiritual Societies Movement of India. They have a great pyramid there. And the first time I heard Judy Satori speaking the light language, that was like the first, because in that conference, which it is held every year, they invite the masters from across the globe, and just like they will share their work, what they do with the audience. And I was one of them when I heard Judy Satori and that she was speaking light language. I was really fascinated. Wow, how can others speak the interdimensional languages? And the first question which came in my mind, oh my God, how much of meditation they used to practice? Simply day and night, meditating only. I'm like, Sushma, this is not your cup of tea. Relax, enjoy the energy, enjoy the conference, and just you can leave after that. And the journey continues. However, I keep on visiting the Pyramid Valley. It's in Bangalore, as I shared. In the year 2015, as one of the participants, we went there, and there was one of the process going on at the night, at the 9 p.m. It is called the activation of few of the DNAs in your system. And it was being conducted by one of the masters from Japan, Master Ray Chandran. And we visited the pyramid, and he started with the process actually. And we were approximately more than 300 people in the pyramid. And as he started toning those sounds of different sounds, because he's a great channeler, he channels many light beings. And so sometime, because whenever I meditate, my body doesn't jerk. It's just like I'm quite a still and a calm type of a person when I meditate, like as if I like a statue is sitting. But on that day, my body is shaking, and I was moving my hand, and I was moving my legs, and rotating my hand and head, and it was like very, very, very. It's just very intense for me. And as I entered into that deep trance, and as the process stops, when I come into the reality, when I come out of the meditation, although I feel that I am not here also, I'm not fully conscious, but it's not so that I'm in meditation also. It's just like I'm hanging in one of the space. I felt, I shared with my master, Ray Chandran. So he said, fine, maybe you just calm down, you close your eyes. As soon as he asked me to close my eyes, I simply felt that somebody has pulled me out of my body, and I just lost control of my body. I just lied flat on the ground, and I started murmuring like different sounds, and it just gone for like 2 to 3 hours. They all the masters just my facilitator who was facilitating, Ray Chandran, tried his best to bring me to ground me, and he just after 2 or 3 hours, I feel a bit better to walk. They just dropped me into the dormitory where I was staying in the Pyramid Valley. Few of my friends helped me to reach out there, but I couldn't sleep at night. And when I wake up in the morning, I just simply lost my voice. I couldn't speak like as I'm speaking right now. And at the same time, I just lost all my appetite, like not feel like eating anything, not drinking anything. And I just become quite very sensitive to everything around me. I could feel, I could sense, I could feel everything is like as if speaking to me. All the trees, if I am like walking there, the shoes lying on the ground, or maybe the chairs inside the valley, and everything, I just like everything has become so alive for me. Everything is like I could sense, I could speak. But the most different part which happened for me, I couldn't take the smell of the food. I couldn't eat anything. So, and at the same time, I just started writing. I write light language. And at that moment only, I started making many cosmic diagrams. I started channeling diagrams from the cosmos for the different purposes. And I started murmuring different sounds, although it's not very fluent at that moment, because I lost my voice just like on and off. But and the energy of the place, the energy of the Pyramid Valley, because it's like situated in between the mountains, and the energy is because many people meditate there. It's like a great place for the spiritual people to be there, and the many retreats have been conducted. The energy supported me a lot to be grounded, and the time came to return back to my hometown. And after 4 days I was there, I didn't eat anything. I didn't eat. I just used to drink a bit of water or coconut water, nothing else. And when I came back, Master Chandra really supported me a lot, guided me a lot. How you need to be, what you need to do, and everything. He talked to my family that not to worry. It's just like it is her new birth, and she will be fine. She's like a newborn baby at this moment. And when I came back slowly and gradually, I started grounding because I came to my reality and just being with my family, being with my children. And I started at that moment, after that, that's light language opened up for me was. I started speaking so fluently. I started connecting with many masters whom you know by name, like many known masters like Krishna. I connected with Osho, Ramakrishna Paramhansa, Swami Vivekananda, and many more. And at the same time, I started connecting with those interdimensional beings whom we haven't heard of. Like many masters, I just started bringing down and jotting down the information. I maintained my journal. I started writing down whatever the messages I used to give, whatever the sounds I used to get. And I just used to keep my notebook, the sketch notebook. And I just started doing those cosmic diagrams. My hands move and I just make it on the sheet of paper. And then all those diagrams which I used to channel and I made, it's like more than 115 numbers. And then all those diagrams have the specific purpose. When you open them, when you meditate on those images you can really just support you to channel that energy, to absorb those energy which is needed in your life. Maybe it is about abundance, maybe it is about relationship, maybe working with the energies, working with the DNAs, or maybe seeing your past life. There are many multi-purpose cosmic diagrams which I have channeled and I started making in my art book. So this is how I began my journey with the light language.
I was listening to what you were saying. There were 2 points, but I was going to say, wow, what a beautiful and spiritual unfolding. As it just kind of, it was almost like when you were talking, it was just this beautiful stream, like water of consciousness that just kind of flowed into your life. And what struck me was when you were talking about having gone home, and it's like, oh, she's okay. She's just going through a rebirthing of sorts. She'll be fine. And I was thinking, how beautiful. And that might be a cultural thing as well, and a more of a cultural, spiritual understanding, because I could not have been brought home like that. My parents, my family, my husband, my children wouldn't have understood what was going on. And so I'd love to hear a little bit more about that in alignment with, like, how did your family acclimate or adjust to this new embodiment that you'd been experiencing?
Yes, that's like very interesting, I would say. I have my mother-in-law in my family. Now she's no more, but my husband, my 2 daughters. And when I came back, they were really pretty excited, they would say. And they didn't doubt the experience. And they didn't said to me, oh, Mama, you have become so weird, what you're doing, how are you speaking, what you're doing? Because initially when I started channeling, so what happens, because I was not very grounded at that moment, so suddenly at mid of the night, I used to wake up for my work, used to pull off my notebooks, pull off my audio recorder to record messages and to write it down. And we have a small house, so my husband just like sitting, sleeping near me. So I just switch on the light, but and when I felt that I'm bothering him, so maybe I just turn on my torchlight from my mobile so that I can write. Maybe his sleep doesn't get disturbed. And by the chance, if he wakes up, so he tell me, you Sushma, you're very free to switch on the light. I'm not disturbed. You are here for the purpose. Just carry on with your work. And you don't bother about my sleep. And that's how supportive he is. And my daughters, whenever like I used to channel any information, so my husband was the one whom I used to experiment it on, actually. This is the thing I have got. And interestingly, one thing happened, I just share you, just like a very nice story of my channeling. One day, in the middle of the night, suddenly somebody wakes me up and just that energy which wakes me up and just asks me to write it down something. So it's like in a poem form, because I'm not a writer, I'm not an author actually. I didn't write anything. I was a simple homemaker before this all happened in my life. And a very simple girl from a small town and with a small family, as like Indian families are. So when I started writing it down, when I completed this poem, and then I asked the master, "Who are you?" So the master energy replied, "Oh, I am Rumi." But I haven't heard about Rumi before. I didn't know who Rumi is. So I felt maybe by the name that she is a female. That's what my perception is. And when early in the morning when I wake up, and I just told my husband was reading quote of like in the mobile he was surfing, and suddenly a page appears, and it was written Rumi, and it was like a man. I know, it was like he was a Turkish poet, and I was like, oh my goodness, oh, he's a man. My husband said, what happened? Because yesterday night he came to me, he just woke me up. Just Sushma woke. And I felt that this energy is female, but now I'm seeing he's a male. So that was like quite a very funny incident which happened in my life during my channeling. And I just say, I really blessed to have a family like that. And when I came back, my mother-in-law really supported me, and she really takes care of me like a baby only. Doing now, because at that moment I felt I don't have any energy. I don't feel so much connected to the household work. And if I do it very slowly actually. I just took a lot of time. And so my family, my mother-in-law and my daughter and my husband, all four of them, like they just told me, just be gentle, Sushma, leave it. If you can't do, don't worry, tell us, we will do. But you don't be bothered. You're not pressurized that you have to do. And that's like, and the same thing my master, one of my mentor just shared. He had such an experience, and his family has hospitalized him to the asylum hospital. They have sent him and he's like in UK right now, Dr. Gopal Krishnan. He had a very similar experience and during his journey of spirituality. And he shared me, Sushma, you are blessed one because your family is supporting. My family, when I came, when it happens to me, and my family thought, what has happened to you? And they have just sent me to the asylum hospital, the mental hospital. So in that way, I would just say it's like really a blessing, Vox, that to have such a nice and a lovely family. Being so supportive and being understanding, yes, maybe because everything was very new for them, they don't know about, because me myself didn't know anything about channeling. I have heard Jyoti Satori, but nothing much. It's just like very on the surface level, if you say, I know the stuff.
Right. That's such a beautiful story. And I think it touches my heart because you were so supported in your experience. You were so validated in your experience. I don't know if I could have had that here. My husband is very supportive, and he is that person who says, don't worry about me, I'm fine, do what you need to do, because he can see it now, the validity of everything that I'm now experiencing. But you mentioned when you were sharing your story how your appetite waned. And that's something I think is interesting, because what I found is that as my frequency raises, those human cravings diminish, right? And I think that's something a lot of people don't really have a beat on or really understand. Can you speak to that a little bit? And Vox, has that been your experience as well? I've noticed it kind of fluctuates from time to time, but then I know other people for whom the human cravings have completely diminished, and they're able to operate within that high frequency state in a breatharian state, for example. What has been your experience?
It's very similar because when I came back, I just right now, like my appetite is very low. I eat quite very minimal. As soon as I have a bit, I feel I'm so full. Like even at my place, they always say you eat like a child. Even the child eats more than you. So naturally, my taste buds has changed after this experience a lot. Like more on, I have switched on to the foods which are full of prana, like more of vegetables, like more of fruits and seeds and nuts. And we do have some like grains and that because I'm a vegetarian. And when I started learning, so I just started avoiding also like animal products like milk and everything. Not exactly following, if you say the 100% the vegan lifestyle, but definitely whatever the percentage we can cut down being an Indian family, I'm doing that. Because my body doesn't like, I can't take milk. My body doesn't, it just rebels. If I have like yogurt, it rebels. I can't have cheese, it rebels. Although the ghee is fine, it's just like Indian butter, like maybe you've heard about. So that's fine. I can take that. But rest is difficult to digest. Like I just like lots of cream or something. If the any food, if it is made of lot of butter and cream, so my body resists it. It's just like I don't feel very good if I have it sometime also, because maybe if we are out or something, whatever the reason is. But if I'm at my place, so I have my menu. It's like what I have is just like I decide and I cook, prepare for myself. Naturally, appetite has gone a lot. It just diminished a lot, as you said. You can't eat anytime. You can't eat every time. And whenever you have, it's just in it's nice quantity, just like very meager, if you said, it's just very meager.
I have much the same experience. In fact, I think overall, because this is my life work now, I've always had a challenge trying to figure out what to eat, because, well, now I eat about 2 meals a day. But if I am working on something actively, or, working with a project, sometimes I forget, I just don't eat. I think I forget to eat, but then I'm actually not hungry. So it might be more like fluids and just some fruit and nuts or something. But I find that in those cases, if I eat like a heavy meal, I feel heavy. It's your vibration gets lowered.
Yes,
And
Lord, yes.
and I'm curious, Sushma, how do you, because I can tell that you live in this state. This is an embodied state for you. And I'm curious if there's any like practical everyday things that you do for yourself in alignment with your light language. Like, do you speak light language to yourself? Do you experience your own light language transmissions? Do you have these conversations kind of on the daily? How does it kind of weave into your everyday life? I guess that's a way I could ask it.
Like if you say using a light language has become a very like a important part of my life. It's just like undetachable part of my life, because in everything which I do, it's just like we use like when I'm cooking food, I just energize the food with the light language. It's just like whenever I sit for the clearing, I just daily I clear my energy space where I stay, and like creating that ascension pillar of light at my place, and just clearing my space with all those energies which is not for the highest best for me and my family members. So I keep on using it on a daily basis. In fact, just to like support my husband in his business also. In the daily life, I use this work, and at the same time for lots of healing, because I am a daughter. I'm a mother of 2 daughters, and when my journey began, that they were really pretty young at that moment. Now they are grown up, because from 2015, I'm speaking the light languages, approximately 9 years now. So before that, also because I was in the energetical world, I was connected with the energy. I learned the many courses like Silver Mind Control, EMF, pranic healing, and many much more. So I use the energy, because I never used to give any medicines to my child. It's just with the energy work, and they trust the energy work a lot. It's just like whenever they are in mama, anything, they ask, or they just call him, Mama, please fix it for us. So that's how it's like it becomes like a regular part of our life, and I just started using it in my daily life in every sphere of my life. Like when I'm traveling, like shielding my luggage with the light language so that it doesn't get lost, or maybe I don't exchange it with anybody, so it becomes easier. Or maybe if I'm traveling, like I remembered the first international travel when I went to Egypt, and I was all alone. And in Indian family, it's like a big thing. Maybe for in America and every part in a deeper the part of India, it's like very common. Other parts of world, but in Indian, in a middle class family, it's just like it's a huge thing traveling without your husband, and that's too like international. So I would say at that moment also, my family was quite nervous, especially my mother. And my husband was quite confident. He was just not that worried. But when I was traveling, I just make it sure that everything at the immigration, everything at the custom, and when I am traveling, everything went smooth. So at that moment of my life also, I just like uses a lot of light language. Sometimes clearing the road when I'm stuck in a jam, in the traffic. So that's like how this, in those small, in every sphere of my life, I keep on using the light language.
Nice. That's so beautiful. And I love how you apply it to everyday practical, even the mundane, the seemingly mundane things. And I love that your children ask for it, because my children are the same way. It's like, Mama, do something about it. I haven't bought off-the-counter medication in a very long time. It's been years since I've had to do that, because I work with them on an energetic level. So having said that and having shared these examples, how would you define or classify light language? How do you feel that light language works with the field itself?
How did the light language come again?
How do you feel that the light language works with the field? What do you perceive light language is actually doing with the field itself to shift things in your favor?
Okay. The light language, how it works with fears. Am I right?
Yes.
When I dealt, whenever I just like, I find myself or my children, like when I just, I share the example of my daughter again, like she was, when she was leaving her hometown and she was going to another part of India for her higher studies. And she was like quite panicked. And she like, how will going to HS, how the people will be there, how the students will be there, how the colleges. So what I did, I just recorded a transmission for her to trust the universe and just let go of your fear of that unknown. Trusting that, yes, everything will come in the most beautiful and the divine way. So I sat with her, I just transmitted, I just recorded a session like for all 10 minutes and 15 minutes and just asked her to listen. It supported her. So that's like my first experience with working with the fears, and slowly and gradually in the year 2022, I began with 2021, sorry. I began with my forum named Light Language Meditation. I launched the forum, and there I started slowly and gradually conducting many workshops. And in one of them, I just come with the workshop on the fears of rejection initially. And that's the completely channeled workshop I shared in my forum, in my workplace, in which I would inform them. It's just not, whenever we talk about fear or whenever it is related, the people usually says it is your basic chakra get blocked when you're fearful. So you need to heal your basic in order to become fearless. But as I connected with my guides, with my higher self, with my team of light, with all those supporting energies, I slowly and gradually find it out. In every chakra, actually, we have fears. It is not only the basic. Maybe in the basic, we have that the fear of survival. Maybe the food, where I will going to get the food, where I will going to stay, maybe what I will going to wear. But as soon as it comes to the sacred, you have that fear of identity, being accepted as a woman or as a man. Or maybe it's like expressing your creativity, or maybe not able to give birth to a child. Again, it's a fear which is stored in your sacral. So similarly, I just started assessing that information. What kind of fears are like ingrained in our different channel, in our different energy centers in the chakras. And that's how I deliver that workshop, like making them aware in every chakra what are different kinds of fears which are infused in, and then we use to do the transmission and we channel the light language to release those stuck up energies and the imprints and the blockages which are storing in our energy centers. That's how I started working with the fears in Rana. So, and at the same time, in every workshop, like whenever I shared my work, whenever I just take the sessions, I always firmly always tell them that the universe only works on two principles, that is the love and the fears. Whether either we are operating out of love or we are operating out of fear. But if the universe has created, like in one of my channeling I written, if anything which has universe has created, it has some purpose. So in that I have just found it out that fears are not bad. Whenever we talk about them, we always feel, oh, they are so bad. I want to get rid of them. I want to be free of them. I want to be so fearless. I want to be like full of freedom. But initially, if you say all the fears, if it is there, if it has been created by the universe, they have a specific purpose. If you don't have the fear of, then maybe if you don't have the fear of height, then maybe you just yes, and you just maybe you can lose your life. At the same time, maybe if you know it's not good for you, maybe I am eating some food and I know it's not good for me. If I don't have that fear, okay, if this food is not right for my body, maybe the fear sometimes, if we see in the more positive sense, in the more in the expanded form, it's like it helps us to tap into that energy of awareness, I would say. It just makes you aware. Yes, it just like whenever you have that fear, okay, well, maybe I if law of karma, for example, what I will sow, that I will reap. So at least that statement makes us more aware that I need to sow those good seeds in my life. I need to sow that seeds of mango in my life if I want mangoes. If I want that happiness, if I want that sweetness in my life, I need to sow that right seeds. So for me, in that channeling was like a great opening for me that fears are not bad. In fact, if we see the very beautiful side of the fears, it just makes you more aware in your life. What you should do, how should you feel, how should you act, how should you behave in every sphere of your life. That's what my experiences about fear is. I don't know.
I always love the way conversations veer off into these other beautiful topics. And so there's a purpose to that. And I think you misheard her question just a little bit, but I actually loved hearing what it is that you shared. So that's why I was talking about how it's beautiful.
Absolutely. It completely served.
It's beautiful the way conversations just kind of veer off into, I think, what people actually need to hear. So one of the key things, so I'm going to ask that question again a little bit differently, but there's two questions here. One, I would love to know if someone came up to you and said, or asked you, what is light language? I'd love to know what the definition is that you would provide them with. And then my next question, to kind of go off what Andana was asking, was how do you feel that light language interacts with the physical body and the energetic bodies, the field of energy with the people that you work with, whether it's one-on-one or if it's in a group situation?
For me, the light language is like a music. You can't just, whenever you say, if I play like a piano right now, if you like ask me to describe it, I can't describe it. Maybe I can describe the instrument, but I can't describe the music which the piano plays. So similarly, the light language is a frequency. When you start speaking, it could be felt, it could be experienced. It is just like many people ask me, how you speak the light language? Is it just like you can learn? So definitely, I would say it can't be learned. It's just an opening for you, at least for me. And as I've seen and met the people who are speaking, it's always an opening, because that's your inner consciousness knows this language. It can't be taught. At the same time, it is just like if you say in a more easy in the layman language, that we, as in a physical body, we become like a radio. It's just like as you tune in with a different frequency. If you're playing 98.3, the music of 98.3 is playing. If you just tune in with the energy frequency of 93.5 hertz, radio station, the 93.5 music plays, the song plays. Similarly, as when we work on ourselves, as we started working on ourselves, and the vibration shifts, because in my journey, like for the 9 years with the light language I have seen, it keeps on shifting. It's not the same as I used to speak 9 years back. It's just like shifting, because many things because the spiritual journey it's continuous. It's always ever evolving. It never stops. So for me, the tuning in the light language is just like tuning into the music. You're experiencing it. It's just simply music. If I say, anybody asks me what's light language, I would say it's the music. It's a universe, the beautiful cosmic music, which you can listen, which you can experience, which you can feel, but you can't describe it.
That's a beautiful definition. That's an absolutely beautiful definition. I love that. I love that, because it speaks to what it is, and it works by virtue of cymatics. It's frequency related, right? Frequency related. It's so interesting how that works. And I often say that if you listen to light language attempting to understand it with the illogical mind, it's going to bypass you every time, because everything that, at least from my perspective, that I produce is intended to sit within that heart space, to be felt within that heart space. It's fascinating the way that all of that works, really. Here's a question for you. Many people are interested or ask a question of where do you feel your light language is coming from, or who do you feel the source of your light language is? Where is that stream of consciousness coming from? Do you have a bead on that? And do you feel that you are channeling one specific source?
Antenna, when I began it very slowly, initially I couldn't being very specific. I couldn't get from where it is coming from. I just simply tune in into the energies. And it is coming from, like, where it is, I don't have any idea. Sometimes the message was very clear that we are the masters from this and this plane. Like, as I have shared, one of the work of the Rumi, like when he came to me, and like similarly, one of the Indian masters maybe you have heard about is Kabir. Have you heard about Kabir? Right. And it's like, he's like very famous poet in Indian tradition, and it's like his writings are very famous, and it's like very simple, and it's very easy to get. So initially, because when I started channeling, I used to doubt myself, as you're asking, whether it's me, or really it's my mind is channeling, or really I'm really connected with any masters, or it's just like I'm feeling like that I'm hallucinating, or maybe I just maybe I know, because maybe you have crossed over the same thing. Maybe it's maybe your experience also, because that's what I always doubt. It really happened, or it's my mind. So one thing very interesting happened. I just shared my work. Maybe you did. Many people get the answer for that. It's just like I was writing, and whenever I used to write my channeling, it's always in English, actually. Just like fine. So when I was one day I was channeling, and the Kabir was making me write on love, and he just told me that I am Kabir, and I just started. Then I felt, then I sat, and then I just stopped writing, and so I told the Master Kabir, "Oh, Master Kabir, I know you can speak Hindi. You're from India. You know Hindi, and I have read your work, because I have read his work. And if you are serious, if seriously you are the one only, if you are the Kabir only, then just make me write in the way you used to write, like in the similar manner you used to write in your in all the books which we have of the Kabir, like all the poems and the dohas is there." Then Kabir said, "Fine. If you want to write it in Hindi, just go ahead, start writing." And you won't believe, in just 5 minutes, he has given me 30 dohas. It's just like 4-liner poems, which we call in Hindi dohas, and 30 dohas in just 5 minutes. In the similar way he used to write. Then I said, my mind, nice, Sushma, it's not me who was writing, because I can't write like this. I never wrote like this. So I would really say the people, many people, when they ask, So instead of like focusing where the source is from where it is coming, like whenever we have water, whenever we go outside and we bought a bottle to quench our thirst, we never ask, oh, from which factory it is coming, or from where it is located. I just grab a bottle and we just quench our thirst. Am I right? Similarly, the main purpose is like whether it's solving your whatever the challenges you're having in your life, whatever the problems you're encountering in your life, if it is able to help you out, just focus on that water instead of focusing on where it is coming from. Definitely, sometimes it's very clear, the message is very clear which dimension, from which masters the languages are coming from. Sometimes, no, it's just simply the energy flowing and we just become a medium for sharing.
How do you feel that your use of light language within your life transforms the lives of others?
Like if I say with my work, the vision of my forum or the motive of my forum, the light language, is like I always trust and I always have that firm knowingness that in a forum we work on that consolidating the ancient wisdom with the new age tools. And this light language is one of the most, we have heard this work recently in just last 1 decade or maybe 2 decades, not more than that, right? And many people were really still unaware of it. They just still don't know. So in my work, in my platform, what I do is just I consolidate both the work. Whatever the ancient wisdom we have from the Upanishad, the Vedas, and many from Western, similarly from the Western authors also, I read them, the knowledge which they like to share with us, I use that knowledge and I channel the language for that purpose. It's like similarly, like if I have read anything about working, clearing your subconscious, right? If I heard, like, for example, I've just read in the book of Dr. Joe Dispenza, like you need to clear your subconscious of all those stuff which no longer serves you. So when I have read this topic in his book, so what I started doing in my work, whenever I'm sharing this wisdom with the people, that we need to really work on our subconscious with all those belief systems, with all those memories, with all those imprints which no longer serves us. So for that clearing, I started channeling the light language. I started combining with my work. And that's how it starts giving me the results. That's how this people starts approaching me, enrolling for my workshop. And they started because in most of the cases, if you say, all the people who came to me through the mouth publicity only, say. It's just the word of mouth. I'm getting my clients, I'm getting the people who are enrolling for my classes. And the role of social media is quite less in this at present now. Maybe we are working on it, but as for now, in my journey, all my people who are coming with me and are associating with me is just through the words of mouth.
Well, I think that this would be a wonderful time for you to share your experiential demonstration of your light language with our audience. And so I'm going to go ahead and pin you. And before you begin, if there's any preparation that you feel that people need to take, you can go ahead and talk about that. And then just go ahead and share with us what it is that you would like to share.
Sure. So friends, it's like just to be in a comfortable state. You can remove your specs, make yourself comfortable. If you want to have a backrest, just be relaxed. Gently close your eyes. And just simply be aware of your breathing. Just feel your inhalation and exhalation. Deep inhalation. Just deep inhalation and exhalation. Focusing on your breathing. Bringing your complete awareness in this now moment. Just allowing your mind to be fully present here. Being thankful to your body for supporting you at this moment to experience this deeper respect of yourself. Again, a deep breath. Shakalana taha shatani tu shaitihi shatanahush. For today's session, let's open our heart. We invite our higher self, our guides. And at this moment, we hold an intent to connect with the highest source energies, with the most beautiful energies, the powerful, the serene energies which are available to us in the now moment. To open our heart center further, to experience love for ourselves, Chakalana tali tanatalana tu tainaki. Just open your palms facing the sky as if you're receiving these beautiful quotes from the intergalactical masters and the Matara. Chakalana tu nai tai na shush. Chakalana ta nai tai na la ta. Just bring your focus on your heart and just feel as these energies travel in your heart center. It just dissolves those imprints of grief, of that sadness, which has blocked your heart center. Where we have experienced the loss, and because of that loss, that deep grief, your heart center shuts down. But this beautiful frequency. Like this imprints of grief and sadness which you are carrying from this lifetime or the other lifetimes, or any of the parallel universe, get dissolved as this beam of light, as these light frequencies from the masters just flow into your heart center. Shiklinata lay tay no tay naki. Kalmanata tu tay tay nai shaita. Chakalanati hi shaiti. Feel that imprints being pulled off, pulled off, pulled off with these light codes. All those cords, all those roots of grief, of sadness, which stops you from experiencing who you are, which stops you from experiencing that joy and freedom, stands dissolved. Shikli nata tata nakala nata hi shaiti nata hush. Kalmanatu hu shaiti hi shaiti hush. Let's go deeper. Those deeper layers of those DNAs, of those grief, of that sadness, which resides in the thymus part of the heart, stands deactivated, so to experience a more joyful life. But the same, the DNA masters from the DNA world, from the DNA angelic realms, the DNA master Harmonia, Shiklinata la ta tai tai to deactivate this DNA of grief and sadness in us. Shikli da ta 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 laklu tu wa ma ti mana ti mana ti tu wa ba shiklinat. You may feel that heaviness on your heart thymus area. You can experience it in your navel also. That's perfectly fine. Just feel the beam of light, the beam of energy in the form of light language enter your thymus area, deactivating those DNA of grief and sadness. Namaha shaiti shakalanata hash. Shakatunata ha, shakatunata ha, shakatunata. Kalmanata hash. Kalmanata hash. We go deeper, deactivating the another layer of this grief and sadness, which resides in the mental and the emotional body. Kilinatu, ta, shh. Shaklanata, shh. Tamatay, tush. Tatamanatu, shh. Tatahush, shakalanatu, tamanata, alamanati, lata, lalata, lamanat, kalakalamanata, kalamanatu, kalatinat. Namakalatu, natakalamanatu, kalamanatu, 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 kalatu, kya. Kalamanatu, kashu, natiyash. Just be in this space. Feel the energy penetrating deeper into the layers, deactivating these DNAs totally, fully, and completely from your energy system. Kashita. Shau tay lana tu lay may tay lani tina. Kalmana ta lu shakalana tu shakalanay ta lunu daha shakalana tu. Kalmana tu kalmanati shaiti. Shakalanatha. Kalanatha. Kalanatha. In this vibration, feel the energy penetrating deeper into your being, freeing you from the shackles of grief and sadness, fully and completely. As these DNAs are getting deactivated, as you are releasing this energy from your system at all the layers, from all the levels, your body is becoming relaxed. Shakalana kanu tay nay. Kinina la na tha la shay. This process of releasing is not only restricted to your heart, but is happening from each and every cell of your body. All that energy of grief and sadness in all your cells is being released, is being dissolved. As energy, as a vibration travels from your heart into all your cells, from head to toe, the left to right. Shikilinata tai tai natu. Kalamanata ala tai 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 tai. Shikinata ta ta shakalanata ha shakalanata ha shakalanata. Shakalanata hu shakina kana. Kalamanaka do kalakata kalala tula katakli tikli tikli uti ati ati kulu tikli tikli uti ati 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 tikli tu uti ati 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 tikli tu uti ati 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 A deep cleansing work, a deep inner work is happening, friends. Just be in this space for a minute. Let the energy flow. Just surrender to the energy. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Trusting the process, knowing that everything is energy, and energy can be shifted. Energy can be transformed. Shakalana tala tala tay lay 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 lay. We go deeper. Clearing these imprints deeper. From the cytoplasm of our cells. Sha nu kama taina kalana ko kana tika takalana tilikina tiklena taukutalana tukalanatia. Kalana talana talati. Kilinata shanu tailana matu tailana tikia. Let the fluid in your cells get cleansed. As we know, water has memories, and the cell is filled with water. As this energy of sadness and grief is leaving your body, it brings smile to your face, a deeper relaxation, a deeper peace. Take a deep breath and exhale. Just releasing, releasing, releasing. Kilita la tula telendata. Kalmanatuhu shakalanatihi. Shamtaihu shatihi. Shamtihu shati. Shakalana. Kalanataha. As you release, as the space is created, request the masters, request the DNA Master Harmonia. Fill the vacuum which has been created after the releasing with the joy, the freedom. Just feel the beautiful light. And let's tune in into this toning. Kulua. Filling your heart center, filling your thymus area, filling each and every cell. Just breathe in and absorb. Be like a sponge and just receive. Kulunamau. Kulunamau. Kalmanatush. As this beautiful energy fill your entire being. From head to toe. Each and every cell, every DNA is filled with joy, filled with light. Let this process sip in more deeply into your consciousness, into who you are. That I am presence. Shala taila tu nahi. Katana tu shay tay nahi. Shay, 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 shay. Just be in this space for a minute. more joy to all your body, more freedom and more peace. Let this energy stays with you 24/7, 365 days. Let your auric field be illuminated with these beautiful energies of joy and freedom. Let your auric field be guarded and protected, be shielded, and be filled with this purest light of consciousness.
I'm going to unpin you here. That was such a beautiful offering, Sushma. Just the way that it flowed from beginning to end. But what I really saw was that I was fascinated with was your combining of the light language with the spoken word as well, so that the light language itself was really serving as a dance partner, like a beautiful a tool. Well, just a tool that I'm trying to. The word is not coming to me. I'm still in the cosmos here. But it served. Okay, it served as a tool that was an extension of your words and your intention. That's what I was meaning to say.
To dive into more deeper into your being, because very much our conscious mind is present, and when we are able to contemplate also at the same time absorbing also, the things become more deeper. So that's how whenever I conduct my classes, whenever I do one-to-one sessions or in my workshops, I do similarly as I have done here. I combine my light language with the spoken words, with the messages which I'm getting from the masters, how to flow the meditation, how the meditation should be carried forward. Like initially when I started with the work, I didn't know what it will come up. I just be open up to the energies, whatever is needed at this moment right now. I'm open to it. So that's how it flows.
It was absolutely beautiful. And it was like this interweaving of the masculine and feminine. For me, that's how I perceived it. It was this dance between the logical mind and the intuitive side of the mind. It was just this nice flow. And I don't have words beyond that to describe it. It was just a really beautiful experience. So thank you for sharing your offering in this way. It was beautiful. Beautiful.
That was like what I was referring to a bit, and you felt like the same thing, that her light language is almost an intimate dance partner in what it is that she's creating and so forth. And I could feel that. I could feel that interconnection of those frequencies weaving with your words. And so that was just a beautiful experience. And thank you so much for sharing that. I think now actually would be a wonderful time, since we are in this space, to go ahead with our what we're calling the Trinity light language dialogue. And so what will happen is I will begin the circuit, and then Andana will be second and you'll be third. And then when Spirit tells me we're complete, then I will state that we are complete. Okay.
Yeah.
Aeroturas passagiera matraspiria natura, cacciatondre bire autundu. Ispikiena manada traspiria sa kaira gut notros pishamotrakira. Gapatata tutras paira paero tunda, bagatatia siateria tundras put. E kera matutra spaera satura andun. E quera natura sotram.
Verakaisa, Parakaya Sotramea Horukundia Dramatia Sod, Verikaisa, Merakaya Sotramea Horukundia Dramaia, Verasan, Ise Rusian Dramatia Sod, Verukamaidam, Isindrakait, Verukamaua, Hierkavad, Urendia Sotrame Asandrekai, Varukama Hier Dund, Verasua, Isha, Ashi.
Katalanati talunata shaite naya hashiyati ati. Kalmanashuta kashuti titinati titi ati ani ani ani. Kalmanata kashuta kalanashi kilinati shaklini tausha tamalanuta hashatanamanati hashiyati. Kalatuta tai kanata tu tai takalahash shuklanata ha shuklanata ha shuklanata ha shuklanata ha shiash.
Di bigeriara tu suondre pira. Hachata kutra spaiera matutiere. En te kondras patuiera sutri min. E kera tu ondras pira. Tatiera kapuko mondre. Hesiere bakino nondras pakit sotro spora. Iere kutra kutira. Tira pakutra mendia. Hastare tutur. Che una manotura spaziatura, hacere che tiri ma cutir se potrangiere che sura, spera ma tu tangiere, e che otre spir, antura si cere che tin, atira che sura, nati cura, nata cura, sanderian.
Kushin bergama atua, desanda kai si atrame avorokundi atramatia, sir kai, dumirko dundi atrakai, verro, kayenda sotrame afurukayanda sad, hira sotramahia, rahinda kaya sotrame avorukayinda so, verra handia tu mirko hosi andrabadia, verro kamo de asinda kai, rukamahi tu kan, verru kai isi atrabatu kan, sarro sun, verro kamau shutere asundre me aso, ir sandrave mo, re shandradu asan, circo ume an, verraso te ad, dan, shwesa,
Shikelena lele melalia tua matanaya me ati. Kanmanatu hu shakalanata ha shakalanatu hu shatatiti ati. Kata hu shakalanata ha shaiti ni natatu tota mati ti. Kalanatu ka shota ha shaiti. Shamaha shata hu shamata ha shaiti ati. Shamahatu tata ha shaiti hati. Shamahatu tata ha shiti hati. Shamahatu tata ha shiti hati. Shamhatu tata ha shiti hati. Shamhatuhu.
Itike tu trespiriatu trespinundra seira tira ma cu trespiriatu. Etur, cadibine motora sopotrim. Atiere casura, ne potres pitutre, me totres tiputre tetrunture. Siquiera ma tu trespaiano tutriri. Appare, cutretti suran. Opetatere cutrindetti suran. Cutris putres pacatun trimpiri. Si accecata tuntritinia. Nato tuntantrinia tu cutrin posso tritirim. Atto tritiri su cundrim motranti.
Junior Moruaya no sindra mati ashondreata kanda sarris andrevemo oi sindra kai tu tani asotreme atande asat berakai to sotreme aia tu sande kai tama o berakai sotreme atakai inde sotreme aforo kotori ande asand sarrende berokoma sotreme asindra kai isat urra maid rekka mahito to Essendere tu aienda so berrakaya masotre mati asan reda a duad ushonde berrakaya to sotremea merakaya sotremati asan berat ushan berat
Shakata ka muti manati mati. Kalmana matu tu madata mati titi kula manatu ha kalana shine ani. Tapahu shota ha shailena. Damadauta tamadani kalamanani kidikunu kuama kalamay kia. Kalamanukula manaka kukuka manaki kuka takalana kutukalanati kiki kashotanata shotalanata shiti. Kuna shutaha shakalana maduha. Kalamana shatalanataha shakalanataha shatanataha. Shakalamanataha shakalaniti shakatanatuhu shakalanataha shakiti takalahana shuti chetata. Namahash shakalanatuhu kalmanataha shakalanataha. Expansion, expansion, and expansion.
Hutuire bere sudam. Bukire se yamotor spirit at jereke tundre spuro. Sadere batuira motor spirium. Makeke tiatuterum, makeke tiatuterum, patu chambairi kiraturen siateria macutrerum, handotia shericaturum, ayabagira motoya matati shatrindia de cura, namanemo cutrim siendere pure, minima cutrim mi amore, hande gure meduso chondre spiriandoran. Expansion indeed. Let's take a few deep breaths here together. That was such a beautiful and potent conversation. And it's interesting how, as you think of light language, does truly transcend all boundaries. And even in understanding, because when I'm listening, when I'm speaking, when I'm listening to you beautiful beings and we're having this conversation and it's flowing, it's as if I understand every single nuance of what is being expressed. And I just feel so vibrant and clear and light. And it's just such an amazing gift to be able to do this, to just have this as a part of our life and our life expression, and to be able to share this at such a high level with other people. And so, I thank you for participating in this dialogue. Did you have anything to share, Andana?
This was absolutely beautiful. And the only thing that comes to mind is, can you imagine when we all get aligned and can communicate every day in such a way, right? With anyone, anyone you encounter, that will be a great time. And just being able to speak within this triad, within this circle, it just it's indescribable. I don't really have the words to accurately articulate the feeling that is present, but there is a knowingness that exists within everything that is shared, and that bypasses the logical mind, because my logical mind honestly cannot comprehend how that is possible, but it is possible, and it just speaks to our divine beingness, the bliss state that is our walking in our divinity, honestly. Yeah.
And just truly embodying our
Right.
divinity. That's really what this is all about. And I think that's really why we share this work, is to assist and guide others in fulfilling that embodiment, in accomplishing that embodiment within this lifetime. Sushma, do you have anything briefly that you would just like to share with our audience, something that maybe they could think about and utilize on a daily basis?
The working with the light language really supports you to clear those stuff very easily and very beautifully and very powerfully, I would say. Like sometimes we don't know what's the reason of something, why it's happening in our life. We are not able to chalk out the reason, we are not able to define the reason. And with the light language work, the things becomes much easier. It's just like using a vacuum cleaner. When you clean your house, and you don't just think whether the vacuum cleaner is pulling out the paper or the dust or maybe whatever it is or the rust, but it just cleans your space simply. You don't need to worry about. Similarly, when we work with the light language, because our cellular memories know this language, our soul know this language, our inner consciousness know this language. So when it just gets channelized in a system, it just cleanses, it just pulls off of all those things which is no longer needed by us. We don't need to comprehend every time where it is coming from, what it is all about, and what should I do with it, how to define it. It's just simple. It's just a boom of clearing and it happens. Like I just shared the recent experience of one of my one-to-one session. There was a guy in another part of India, in Mumbai, and he couldn't drink anything cold without any reason. From so many years, he used to doesn't drink anything cold. If by chance, if he just have something, maybe just a spoon of ice cream or just a sip of a cold drink, and his throat is gone, and in the next morning he would have fever. That's for the certain from almost so many years. And he approached me for the session, like, and in just one session, it was cleared. And he was just so happy to message me down, ma'am, I am having cold drink now daily now. And then I told him not to have so many. It's not good for health. So he told me, oh, by the cold drink, I doesn't mean that colas. It just means to say that like cold coffee, or maybe some shakes, or maybe some smoothies, which are cold, which initially I couldn't have it. So sometimes the working with the light language becomes so simple that you really don't need to know what it is, where it is coming from, what the stuff is, whether it's coming from my past life, whether it's coming from my ancestral imprints, whether it's my belief systems, whether it's my family, DNAs, or whatever it is. There's so much in the spiritual world, in the energy system, I would say. But because the light language is simply speak to yourselves, and your soul knows this language, it recognizes because it is as ancient as you are. So it just helps you to just dive in and just to bring that pearl from your inner consciousness and to experience a truly a beautiful and a wonderful and a free life. That's what I said. Thank you.
And to round it all out, I think that is truly the key, is the simplicity, just keeping it simple. And I think in that, within that simplicity, there's a recognition then of just how resourceful and powerful we are without any external force of anything. Yeah. So it's just coming down to understanding and acknowledging the truth of who you are. So in closing, Sushma, how can our audience best get in touch with you, to connect with you if they are interested in hearing more about your work or interested in a session?
They can get in touch with my website. It's there. It's just like called www.lightlanguagemeditation.com. And they can also mail me on this email ID. It's wisdom.sushma@gmail.com. They can connect me on my mail ID, and they can enroll for this one-to-one session or for the workshop directly on my website by enrolling there.
Beautiful. And before we close, Andana, do you have something you would like to share?
Thank you, Sushma. This has been a beautiful sacred space, a sacred sharing. I was so happy to learn more about you. So happy for our audience to get a chance to experience you and your light language. And I think you nailed it home when you mentioned not to get hung up on the details of a thing, just to allow that energy to flow, because so many of us get hung up on the whys and hows and all of those things that hang up the logical mind, that the logical mind wants to assess, but just allowing yourself to receive at that level of heart in a state of openness, and allowing that energy to do what it does, to put you in connection with the true essence of self. So thank you, Sushma.
Thank you, Antonio. And that's what I feel is important actually, because I
Yeah.
firmly had a knowingness that awareness is our key to freedom. It's just if we are aware, if we are experiencing the energy, if we are feeling the shift, that's all it matters. And if it does just give a label, it's just a label, it's just a name. So that's what my knowingness is, that's how I perceive it is. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sushma. Thank you, Andona. And thank you to our audience for joining us. And we will see you next time. In the meantime, don't get hung up on the details. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Tu se petre, kaira batu suere matre spura, tacierenti. Pirico tutte le spagna na gente. Su cui amatoscia, tu pacutro spira tu. Ancora. Continua ma sulla ieri sirio.
This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.